Today, we are going to learn about role-based authentication in ASP.NET Core MVC applications. First, let's see the app demo. This is our app. It has authorized privacy page which only logged-in users can access. Unauthorized users will be redirected to login page. Let's log in as the admin. We have logged in successfully. Now, we are able to access the privacy page. There is also new admin page which is only available to the persons with admin role. No one else can see it or access it using any other roles. We can also log out. Now, let's log in as a user. Users are able to access the privacy page. However, there is a user page instead of admin page. This user page is only available to persons with user role. Now, let's change the user's password. After clicking Forgot Password, we're redirected to email verification page. This page verifies whether the email is available in the database or not. You can further enhance it by sending verification email to provided email address. However, we're not doing that here. After clicking Verify, we're redirected to Change Password page. Here, we'll enter new password. After changing password, we're redirected to Login page. Now, let's log in using new password. We have successfully logged in using new password. Now, let's register a new user. Enter the information of new user and click Register. We are redirected to Login page, which means new user is registered successfully. Now, log in as this new user. We have successfully logged in as new user, and we are also able to see this user's page, which means user role is also assigned to this user automatically. Now, let's create this application. To create project, start Visual Studio. Create new project. Choose ASP.NET Core MVC app. Enter app name. Choose .NET version. I'll use .NET 9, which is latest version right now. Leave everything else as it is. Our project is ready. Now, we'll import recommended packages. So, open NuGet Package Manager. Open Browse tab, and search for Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.Identity.Entity Framework Core. Install this package. Now search for Microsoft.Entity Framework Core. Install this package. Then look for Entity Framework Core.SQL Server and install it. Then look for Entity Framework Core.Tools and install it. Now, I'll import an image to use it as login page background. For this, open root folder and create images folder. Now, drag and drop the image inside this folder. With this, all required packages and assets are imported. Now, we'll create models, AppDbContext classes and database. So inside models folder, create the class named users. Inherit this class from identity user. If we go to definition of this class, we can see many properties like email, username, etc., but we can't see full name property. So, create a string type full name property in users class. Now, create folder named data. Inside it, create a class named AppDbContext. Inherit this class from IdentityDbContext and pass users class to it. Now, create constructor of this class with options. Now open program file. Above build method, register AppDbContext class using builder.services.addDbContext method. Pass AppDbContext class to it. Then create options and use this lambda expression. Then use options.useSQL Server method. Inside it, use builder.configuration.getConnectionString method and pass connection string name to it in string format. I have saved connection string, so I'll copy that. Open app settings and paste connection string here. You can set server name to local, but I have SQL Studio, so I'll get server name from there. So, open SQL Management Studio. Copy server name from here and paste here. Now, enter database name. Now, we'll create migrations, so open Package Manager console. Type add migration and enter migration name and run this command. Migrations are ready. Now, run update database command. It's done. Now, open SQL Studio and connect to server. Our new database is created. Now, open users table. We can see full name column here, which means users class is added successfully. With this, our database is ready. Now, we'll set up configuration for identity framework. So, open program file. Then add builder.services.addIdentity method, add users models and identity role, then create options with Lambda expression. Inside it, set requirements as per your needs. Like here, I set up few requirements for password, email, and sign in. Next, use add entity framework stores method and add AppDbContext to it. Then use add default token providers method. Now scroll below. Above authorization, add app.useAuthentication method. With this, we have added all required configuration for identity framework. Now, we'll seed roles and admin data to database using service method. So, create folder named services. Inside it, create a class named seed service. Inside it, create a static method named seed database and require iService provider class as parameter. Inside it, create a variable named scope and initialize it with service provider.createScope method. Then create context variable and initialize it with scope.serviceprovider.getRequiredService method and pass AppDbContext to it. Then create role manager variable and initialize it with getRequiredService method again and pass role manager and pass identity role to role manager. Then create user manager variable and initialize it with getRequiredService method again and pass user manager and then pass users to it. And finally create logger variable and initialize it with getRequiredService method and pass iLogger and then pass service to it. Then create try catch block. Inside try block, print log message using logger.log information. Then use context.database.ensure created async method. This method will check whether database and tables are created or not. If either of these things is missing, then it will create that using Entity Framework Core. Next, I'll seed roles. Then use add role async method and pass role manager and role name as argument to it. Add role async method does not exist right now, but we'll create it in a moment. Then use add role async method again and pass second role name. You can create as many roles as you need using this method. Next, I'll seed admin data. Create admin email variable and pass admin email in string format. Then use if statement to check if any user with this email does not exist in database. Inside it, create admin user variable and initialize it with users class object. Inside it, initialize full name username normalized username email normalized email, also set confirmed email to true and new GUID in string format to security stamp. Here I passed email to both username and email because by default, Identity Framework uses username for login. However, I want to use email for login, so I passed email to username and created separate full name property to store user's name. Then create result variable and initialize it with user manager.createAsync method and pass admin user variable and password to this method. Then use if statement to check if result succeeded. Inside it, we'll assign admin role to this user. For that, use userManager.add to role async method and pass admin user variable and role name in string format to it. In else block, log errors. Also log errors in catch block. Now, create private add role async method and require role manager and role name as parameters. Inside it, use if statement and check if role exists using role exists async method. Also negate this statement. Inside it, create result variable and initialize it with role manager.createAsync method and pass it new identity role and pass role name to it. Then use if statement and check if result succeeded and negate this statement. Inside it, throw new exception. Now, open program file. Below build method, call this seed database method from seed service and pass app.services as an argument. I'm not using scoped method or singleton method to call this service because I want to call this service only once after application starts. Our data will be added to database once application starts. With this, seed service class is complete. Now, we'll create view models. So, create a folder named view models. Inside it, create class named LoginViewModel. Create second class named RegisterViewModel. Create third class named VerifyEmailViewModel. Create fourth class named ChangePasswordViewModel. Now open LoginViewModel. Inside it, create string type email property. Next, create string type password property. Then create Boolean type rememberme property. Above email, create required annotation and then set error message inside it. Then add email address annotation. Then create required annotation above password property and then set error message inside it. Then add data type annotation and set data type to password inside it. Then create display annotation above rememberme property and set name of this property to display. Now, open RegisterViewModel. Inside it, create string type name property, email property, password property, and confirm password property. Above name property, create required annotation and set error message. Then create required annotation above email property. Then create email address property. Then create required annotation above password property. Then create string length annotation and set maximum and minimum length of the password. Minimum length must be equal to or greater than the password length we specified in identity configurations in program.cs file. Then add data type annotation and set its type to password. Then add compare annotation and pass the name of confirm password property because we want to compare these two properties. Then add required annotation above required password property. Then add data type annotation and set its type to password. Then add display annotation to set its display name. Now, open VerifyEmailViewModel. Inside it, create string type email property. Above it, add required annotation. Then add email address annotation. Now, open ChangePasswordViewModel. Inside it, create email property, new password property, and confirm new password property. Above email, add required annotation. Also add email address annotation. Then add required annotation above new password property. Then add string length property and set maximum and minimum password length inside it. Then add data type annotation to set its type to password. Then add display annotation and set its name. Then add compare annotation and compare it with confirm new password property. Then add required annotation above confirm new password property. Then add data type annotation to set its type. Then add display annotation to set its display name. With this, our view models are complete. Now, we'll create login partial to show login option to logged out users and logout option to logged in users. For this, open views folder. Open shared folder. Here, create an empty Razor view named login partial. Inside it, add using Microsoft ASP.NET Core Identity. Then inject Sign-in Manager and pass users to it and name it Sign-in Manager. Then create unordered list and pass these bootstrap classes to match with rest of the navbar. Then use if statement to if user has logged in using Sign-in Manager .is signed in method. Inside it, create list item tag and pass this class to it. Then create form, set controller to account, action to logout and method to post. Inside it, add anti-forgery token attribute. Then create submit button, pass these classes to it, and name it logout. Then create else block. Inside it, create list item with this class. Then create anchor tags and pass these classes to it. Set controller to account and action login, and name it login. Then copy-paste this anchor tag. Change action and name to register. Then open layout file. At the bottom of list, add partial tag and pass login partial to it using name. Then create the controller inside controllers folder and name it account controller. With this, login partial is complete. Now, we'll create account layout for login and registration pages. So inside shared folder, add a new item. Then select Razor layout and name it account layout. Open layout file. Copy the script and bootstrap tags and paste here. Then copy these script tags and paste here. Then go to CSS folder and inside it add new item. Search for CSS file. Select Style Sheet and name it account. Now, add new style sheet link and attach account CSS file here. With this, account layout is complete. Now, we'll create custom login page. Inside Views folder, create a folder named Account. Inside it, create a view named Login. Inside it, add using directive to View Models folder. Then add Login View Model as model. Then add code block and set page title using View Data, and then add account layout as layout. Next, add div tag and pass account container class to it. Inside it, create another div tag and pass account box class to it. Then create login heading. Then add form and set action to login. Inside it, add anti-forgery token attribute. Then add div tag and set validation summary to model only. Then add div tag and give it some bottom margin. Inside it, create label for email. Then create input for email. And then add validation for email. Then create another div tag and create label for password. Then create input for password. And then create validation for password. Then add a div tag and pass it float and class. Inside it, create anchor tag and set controller to account and action to verify email and give it title of forget password. Next, add div tag and add form check class to it. Then create label and inside it, create an input field for remember me. Then add display name for method and add remember me to it using lambda expression. Then add submit button. Then add a paragraph tag and inside it, create an anchor tag to redirect to register page. Then create a div tag and inside it, create anchor tag to redirect to home page. At bottom, add a section named scripts and inside it, add a code block, and inside it, add render partial async method and pass validation scripts partial page to it. This will use to do client-side validation. This class can be found inside shared folder. Now open account controller. Remove default action. Then create private read-only property of type Sign-in Manager and pass users to it. Then create private read-only property of type User Manager and pass users to it. Then create private read-only property of type Role Manager and pass identity role to it. Then generate constructor of this class and initialize all properties inside it. Then add HTTP GET tag and create an action named login. Inside it, return view. Now run the app. There's an error in display of login buttons. Open login partial page. Here, separate both button in separate list item tag. Now do a hot reload. Now it's correct. Open login page. It's working. Now, let's add some styling to it. Open account CSS file. Inside it, use account container class. Then add background image. Set background size to cover. Set background position to center. Set background repeat to repeat on y-axis. Set display to flex. Set align items to center. Set min height to 100 viewport height. Set padding to 2 rem vertically and 0 horizontally. Hot reload the app. Back image is showing. Now let's style login box. Now add account box class. Inside it, set background color to white. Set padding to 30 pixels. Set border radius to 10 pixels. Add box shadow and give it light color. Set max width to 500 pixels. Set width to 100%. Set opacity to 0.9. Hot reload the app. It's good but not horizontally centered. In account container, set justify content to center. Now it's looking good. Now open account controller. Here, add HTTP post tag and anti-forgery token tag. Then create public async method of task type named login and pass login view model as parameter to it. Inside it, use if statement to check if model state is valid and negate this statement. Inside it, return view and pass model to it. Then create result variable, initialize it with sign in manager.password sign in async method and pass model.email, model.password, model.rememberme, and set lockout on failure to false. Then create if statement to check if result succeeded. Inside it, return home page using redirect to action method and pass action name and controller name to it. Then use model state.add model error method and pass empty string as key and error message as description. Then return view and pass model to it. Hot reload the app. Now open seed service class and copy admin email from here and paste in email field. Then copy admin password and paste in password field. Now try to login. We have successfully logged in, which means our login method is working perfectly. Now, logout option is showing to us instead of login and register buttons. With this, login page is complete. Now, we'll create custom register page. So, open account folder, create a view named register. Inside it, add using directive to use view models folder. Then set register view model as model. Then create code block and set page title and set layout to account layout. Then create div tag and add account container class to it. Then create another div tag and add account box class. Then create heading using h2 tag. Then create form and set action to register. Inside it, add anti-forgery token attribute. Then create div tag and set validation summary to model only. Then create div tag and inside it, create label for name, input for name, and validation for name. Then add another div tag and create label for email, input for email, and validation for email. Then create label input and validation for tag for password, and also for confirm password. Then create submit button using input tag. Then add paragraph tag and create anchor tag inside it to redirect to login page. Then create div tag and inside it, create anchor tag to redirect to homepage. At bottom, add scripts section and inside it, add validation scripts partial. Now run the app. Open register page. Sorry, I forgot to add this page in controller. Now open account controller. Here, create HTTP get annotation. Then create a method of iAction result type and name it register. Inside it, return view. Hot reload the app. Now open register page. Register page is loaded and client-side validation is working too. Now, add HTTP post and anti-forgery token annotations. Then create an async method of type task named register and pass register view model as model in parameter. Inside it, use if statement to check if model state is valid and negate this statement. Inside it, return view and pass model to it. Then create user variable and initialize it with new users class. Inside it, pass name to full name, email to username, and to normalized username in uppercase. Also pass email to email, and to normalized email in uppercase. Then create result variable and initialize it with userManager.create async method and pass user and model.password to it. Then create if statement and check if result succeeded. Inside it, create roleExist variable and initialize it with roleManager.roleExist async method and pass user role to it in string format. Then create if statement to check is roleExist is false. Inside it, create role variable and initialize it with new identity role and pass user role in string format to it. Then use roleManager.create async method and pass role variable to it. Then use userManager.add to role async method and pass user variable and role in string format to it. Then use sign-in-manager.sign in async method and pass user to it and set is persistent to false. Then return to login page using redirect to action method. Then use for each loop and iterate over result.errors. Inside it, use modelState.addModelError and pass empty string as key and error.description as description. Then return view and pass model to it. Hot reload the app. Now, try to register a new user. We are redirected to login page, which means new user registered successfully. Now, let's try to log in as new user. We have successfully logged in as new user. With this, register page is complete. Now, we'll create simple email verification page. For that, open account folder. Inside it, create an empty Razor view named Verify Email. Inside it, add using directive to add models folder. Then set Verify Email View Model as model. Then create code block and set page and account layout to layout. Then create account container. Inside it, create box container. Then create heading. Then create form and set action to verify email. Then add anti-forgery token attribute. Then add div tag and set validation summary to model only. Then create label, input and validation for email. Then create submit button. Then create a div tag and inside it, create an anchor tag to redirect to login page. At bottom, add scripts section and inside it, add validation scripts partial. Now open account controller. Here, create HTTP GET annotation. Then create public method named verify email. Inside it, return view. Now run the app. Now, click on forgot password link to open email verification page. Page is created. Now open account controller. Here, create HTTP post and validate anti-forgery token annotation. Then create public async method of task type named verify email and pass verify email view model as model in parameter. Inside it, use if statement to check if model state is valid and negate the statement. Inside it, return view and pass model to it. Then create user variable and initialize it with userManager.findByName async method and pass model.email to it. Then create if statement to check if user is null. Inside it, use modelState.addModelError method and pass empty string as key and error message as description. Then return view and pass model to it. Then create else block. Inside it, return redirect to action method and pass action name, controller name, and a new object to it. Inside this object, pass username and set it user.username. We'll test this page after creating change password page. With this, email verification is complete. Now we'll create change password page. So, open Account folder and create an empty Razor view named Change Password. Inside it, add Using Directive to Models folder. Then set Change Password View Model as Model. Then create Code Block and set Page Title and Layout to Account Layout. Then create Account Container. Inside it, create Account Box. Then create Heading. Then create Form and set Action to change password. Then add Anti-Forgery Token. Then create Div Tag and set Validation Summary to Model Only. Then add Label and Input for Email. Also set Input to Read Only. Then create Label, Input, and Validation for New Password. Then create Label, Input, and Validation for Confirm New Password. Then create Submit button. Then, create Anchor Tag to redirect to Email Verification page. At bottom, add Validation Scripts Partial. Now, open Account Controller. Here, add HTTP GET annotation. Then create public method of type action result named Change Password and require string type parameter named Username. Inside it, create if statement to check is username is null or empty. Inside it, use redirect to action method and redirect to email verification page. Then return view and pass new change password view model object to it and pass username to email property. Now run the app. Open email verification page. Enter the user email. Here you can see username is passed through the URL and automatically added in the email field. Open Account Controller again. Here, add HTTP post annotation. Then create public task type method named Change Password and pass Change Password View Model as parameter. Inside it, use if statement to check if model state is valid and negate this statement. Inside it, use modelState.addError method and pass empty string as key and error message as description. Then return view and pass model to it. Then create user variable, initialize it with userManager.findByName async method and pass model.email to it. Then use if statement to check if user is null. Inside it, use modelState.addError method and pass error message inside it. Then return view and pass model to it. Then create result variable, initialize it with userManager.removePassword async method and pass user to it. Then use if statement to check if result succeeded. Inside it, initialize result variable with userManager.addPassword async method and pass user and model.newPassword to it. Then use redirect to action method and return to login page. Then create else block. Inside it, use for each loop to iterate over result.errors. Inside it, use modelState.addError method and pass empty string and error.description to it. Then return view and pass model to it. Now run the app. Open email verification page. Here, enter user email. Here, enter new password and confirm new password. And submit the form. We are redirected to login page, which means password changed successfully. Now, try to log in using new user password. We have successfully logged in, which means our change password method is working perfectly. With this, change password page is complete. Now we'll create sign out method. So, open login partial first. Here, we've set the action to log out. Now, open account controller. Here, create HTTP post and validate anti-forgery token annotations. Then create public task type method named Logout. Inside it, use signInManager.signout async method. Then use redirect to action method to redirect to home page. Now run the app. Now log in as a user. Now click on Logout button. Now, login and register options are showing instead of logout. It means we have logged out and logout method is working perfectly. With this, logout method is complete. Now, we'll create some role-based authorized views. So, open Home folder and create an empty Razor view named Admin. Inside it, create code block and set page title. Then create div tag. Inside it, create heading tag for admin. Now, create another empty Razor view named User. Copy the code from admin page and paste in user page. Change the page title and heading to User. Now, open Home controller. On top of privacy action, add authorized annotation to restrict its access to logged-in persons only. Then create a new action named admin. Inside it, return view. At top of it, add authorized annotation and use roles property and pass admin role in string format. Now this action is only accessible to admin role. Now copy this action and paste below. Change action name to user and also change role to user. Now open layout page. In navigation, add if statement to check user role by using user.isInRole method and pass admin role to it. Inside it, add list item and anchor tag to redirect to admin page. This list item will only be shown people with admin role. Then add another if statement to check the user role. Inside it, add anchor tag to redirect to user page. Now run the app. Try to open privacy page. We are redirected to login page because privacy page is an authorized view. Now log in as user. Open the privacy page again. Now we are able to access it. As we logged in as user, we are able to see the user page but not admin page. Open this page. There's an error. Open the layout page. We have misspelled the user action. Hot reload the app. Change URL to user page. Now we are able to see the user's page. Now log out and try to sign in as admin. Copy the admin's password from the seed service class. Now, admin page is shown here instead of user because we logged in as an admin now. Open privacy page. We can see this page. Open admin page. We are also able to access this page. With this tutorial is complete. I hope you liked it. If you have any question, feel free to ask it in the comments section. And finally, thanks for watching. See you in next video.